I'd struggle to live anywhere else but Bangor.
He reminds me a lot of where my folks live, further south. So my folks live in Dorset, on the south coast, but you just go like half an hour south and you get to the coast, around like Poole and that area. And it's quite similar actually. These roads are nice.
Yeah.
And one thing I've always noticed as well, so in the Hyundai stuff, the steering's so light and everything.
Yeah.
And much smoother. Yeah. And it's also much easier to get in and out of. You know, it's always all the seats are nice and high. That's obviously why they have to make the iX20 as well.
Yeah, nice. The higher seat position.
Yeah, it's not like a lot of the sort of Beamer Merc stuff. It's all quite low seated. It can be a bit of a pain to get in and out of. And as soon as pretty much every single one in the range is height adjustable, apart from the S's.
The 1 litre turbo, like it says, once you get to about 3,000 revs,
yeah,
just good.
They're saying that I think they're sort of discontinuing the 1.4.
Yeah, I think that the 1 litre engine is going to sort of replace that because it's more efficient, roughly the same sort of power.
Yeah.
So there's no point having, plus you can save weight as well.
Yeah.
I
mean, you get a few of the vehicles that can now sort of you can shut down one of the cylinders, and like a lot of the supercar stuff does it when they're so big that you can shut down a couple of cylinders.
For economy.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever. So what, likes it means you could drive like a Ferrari or something in and around town?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
When did you start racing then?
Started racing when I was about 10 years old. Started racing karts and that. And then when I was about 15, I was basically hardly ever at school. Like, still there to complete all my exams and stuff. But I was away so much, it got quite hard to do both.
Yeah.
So I moved to Italy when I was 16.
On your own?
Yeah. So I raced for an Italian manufacturer out there. So I ended up just staying out there because it got pointless me coming back to England for nothing.
Yeah. So were you sponsored and all that kit?
Well, because I raced to them, and they are the manufacturer, so everything I raced on there is paid for by them, basically.
And then obviously they paid you to survive, like you. Pocket money.
Yeah, to be honest, most of that I got on my parents.
Yeah, just sort of help and support you.
But whenever you're racing, like you kind of travel with them, they pay for the hotels.
Yeah, so you really only have a couple of days each week where you're.
Yeah. And even when I wasn't, I was in the factory kind of working, so they kind of just cover everything really. It's quite nice.
Sweet.
But then I did a year there, but I started to do my A-levels. My dad was like, if you don't carry on working in it, then you're kind of on your own. So I went back and did my A-levels in a college in Oxford. But it's quite handy because all the race teams and stuff and all the tracks are really near to Oxford.
So Oxford would be quite sort of central.
Yeah.
So did you get up to Belfast at all then, or?
Not last night. I was I was staying kind of in Belfast, but I didn't get into the centre last night. I didn't get in till like 10 o'clock. I was knackered.
Yeah.
So I want to go to bed because I was at work all day before, and I was up at like 5. Absolutely shattered.
If you're not going up to the northwest, there's a sightseeing bus tour in Belfast, but it's really good because obviously I'm sure you know, like it's been a fairly, like, we've only had peace here since 1998.
Yeah, well.
So there's a lot of stuff to cover, but it's cool because the trip kind of shows you both sides. Jesus, awesome. Fucking right.
They do actually hold the road really well, these cars.
If you go left here and then go right away, because it'll get us away from the diversion with any luck.
Yeah.
No, it won't. Left only. Okay. This is a good road.
Yeah, it'd be nice. This. A little bit airborne if you're on a bike.
Yeah, front wheel up. Yeah.
So what did you think that was good about this car when you drove it? What was your favourite bits about it?
It's what you picked up on. It feels really stuck to the road. The traction always feels safe. You know, you never feel like you're about to sort of lose it. You know, and it feels, again, I don't want to go back to the stereotype of what you said about it feeling like a much bigger car, but
it does
feel like its feet are firmly on the ground. You know, if you were to sort of put your foot down in any of the other cars in this class, I mean, it just wouldn't compare. You know, the likes of this against like a 208, you know, or a 308 even. You know, it's not even the same. The sturdiness of it, and I, same as yourself, like the tighter steering in it. You know,
it's so amazingly light. You can literally drive with your fingers.
Please don't. Have you ever seen the video of the guy racing the R8 in Brazil?
Oh yeah,
on the roads.
Yeah, no, his passengers going
sick.
Nuts.
Yeah. I felt sick. Big 4 lane. He's just cutting across 4 lanes on the 2 bikes.
There's
one stage.
I thought he was going to hit him at one point.
That's what I was going to say. He's nearly right on the tyre. The guy.
I've been in Italy before, going down to track and like on a motorway, but there's no like you know, you've got a bit of grass before the central reservation. But there it was just like a big concrete like median in between the 2 lanes on the other side of the road, and there are literally bikes. We'd be in the fast lane. There are literally bikes passing us between like us there and the hedge, in between the concrete. And at one point, a guy goes past and proper close to the wing mirror of the van, and he goes like, puts his hands out onto the van. I was like, whoa, screw that. Some of the accidents people have on push bikes is
My
like
brother
when you watch
just
the racing
dislocated his elbow.
stuff. So savage.
He lives in Cheltenham, and he had to get his 4.5-inch gash on his leg. It was like right down to the bone, and it was someone pulled out in front of him.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. We had a big bike race thing, the Giro d'Italia here, and then there was a cycle event on in Bangor. They closed Bangor, and I actually got stuck in the pub because I have my car, right, and I was going in for 1 pint after work, and the missus phoned me and was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, I'm in Fealties, I'll be up shortly. And then I went to leave, and I was like, oh. And because Bangor's all one way, and then I was starting to phone her, I was like, "You're not going to believe me when I tell you this." I was like, "I'm stuck in the pub," and she was like, "Don't be ridiculous." I was like, "I'm serious. I'm stuck in the pub. I can't go
so you
anywhere."
hang up, you're like,
yeah, I know. And I was like, "Yes!" But the problem was, she raised a valid point, because then she says, "Well, then you're going to have if you drink, you're going to have to ditch your car. So you might as well just walk." And you're going, "Well,
you can come pick me up when the race is done."
Once the race is done, you know. But there was something terrible happened that day. There was a guy came flying around the corner doing about 30-40 miles an hour on a push bike, lost control, and he went head first through the windscreen of, it was either a Range Rover or a Land Rover, but it was like a major incident. The guy was like shredded the ribbons though. Yeah,
the other one I had, which actually really hurt, I was next to the taxi, and he didn't see it. And again, he went to turn in left, but instead of going across the front of me, hit my back wheel as I went like that. So I basically turned me into the middle of the road, and I just went surfing all down on my left hand side.
Road rash.
Yeah, I was not that comfortable. I'm on the road the whole time.
That has its advantages too, I'm sure.
It's good fun, but exhausting at times.
Yeah, plus it must be sort of strange, because like I assume like that, if you're somewhere for 3 or 4 days, you sort of latch on to someone that you get on with, and then they're just gone out of your life again. Just like that. That would be quite weird.
Luckily, like even though I work for like hundreds of different companies, I have sort of a group of mates, and we all end up sort of working
right there,
right here.
Not that one, the next one. Here.
This one, We all end up working for similar companies, really.
So you sort of talk about the same people.
Yeah, quite often we'll travel the country together anyway. So it's kind of like having your own little miniature company, but basically just your mates.
Lads on tour.
Yeah, a little bit. It's quite nice. And then so sometimes we'll do like big manufacturer jobs abroad somewhere, or like I'm supposed to be working out in Prague at the end of the week. Sorry, end of the month. That'd be wicked. It's like 12 days, everything's paid for. Occasionally, if you're really lucky, you can get durability testing work, which they do over the winter, which literally just break cars.
Yeah, it's funny, we were talking about that yesterday, and Gavin was saying that last time he was working in a dealership that had something similar, and he met a guy who used to work for Ferrari, and that was his job, was to just push them until they broke.
Yeah.
So that they knew where to put the rev limiters and where,
exactly.
you know.
Annoying that quite often people think it's like drive flat out until they blow up, but it's usually a case of driving them over cobbled roads over and over again for like 2
So
days.
Just sitting.
Yeah, literally like 2 days solid until suspension boner breaks. Or,
do you get out of the car like?
yeah. Or they do and what they'll do is they'll run the cars for 24 hours a day. They don't get a break, so it means that you basically swap with another driver after 12 hours.
Just get into a different car.
Yeah, well, you have 2 pairs of drivers, so you can alternate during those 12 hours, at least get a break.
You're just driving in a circle for 12 hours?
Well, yeah, they have like different hill routes and stuff like that. You go to like places like Millbrook and different test
Millbrook
facilities.
was the one they were talking about yesterday, 'cause that's Aston and Aston Martin and...
Yeah, I mean, loads of people use it, and they got ovals, cobbled routes and stuff. Yeah, but sometimes it's literally a case of making sure you don't go over 1,000 revs or like 2,000 revs, and trying to choke up the engine with like certain stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing how that gets affected. Yeah, not all driving with like the handbrake on and seeing how long until it breaks.
Really?
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's cool.
It's like any way you can think that someone might break a car in like the
Just
most
test it.
stupid ways, they'll test. Or like,
So like driving it in nothing but first gear?
yeah, or like pulling away as many times as you can with a hot clutch until it breaks. 4,000.